General Hospital spoilers for the next 2 weeks, from April 7th to 18th, reveal that Jason has no intention of interfering with the blossoming relationship between Carly and Brennan. But that doesn't stop him from quietly keeping an eye on every step of the new man in Carly's life, the woman he has always considered his top priority. Loyal and protective, that's what Jason has always been for Carly over more than 2 decades, and no new relationship can change this core instinct. Every time Brennan shows up at Metro Court, at Carly's gate, or even when there's a late-night phone call, Jason is always lurking in the shadows, observing and assessing every interaction, every small gesture. One of the new dynamics emerging in this story is how Jason is struggling with the line between protection and control. In the past, Jason always knew his place in Carly's life, a protector, a close friend, and sometimes a mentor. But with Brennan, Jason senses a threat he has never encountered with previous men in Carly's life. Not because Brennan is aggressive or dangerous, but because of his suspicious perfection, too polite, too charming, too knowledgeable about Carly's world. New complications arise as Jason begins to notice strange patterns in Brennan's behavior. Secret phone calls he makes when he thinks no one is looking, sudden disappearances with no reasonable explanations, and especially how he seems to care too much about the details of Carly's business. Jason, with his sharp instincts honed over years in the underground world, has started connecting these scattered dots and senses a potential danger closing in on Carly. A new obsession is forming. Not only in Jason's mind but also in the cooperative effort between Brick and Anna, 2 people from entirely different worlds but sharing a common goal, protecting the ones they care about. Brick, with his wide-ranging connections in the underground world, has started digging into Brennan's past, while Anna, with her intelligence background, has approached the issue from a more conventional angle. This parallel investigation has begun to yield surprising results, suspicious gaps in Brennan's background, links to organizations both Brick and Anna know to be dangerous, and especially a series of strange coincidences between Brennan's appearances and a number of attacks targeting Sonny's businesses. The major shift is taking place as these discoveries are no longer vague suspicions but are beginning to form a clearer picture of who Brennan truly is. Through secret investigations, Brick has discovered that Brennan had ties to a rival organization of Sonny's on the West Coast, an organization known for infiltrating through personal relationships. Meanwhile, Anna has found evidence suggesting that the name Jack Brennan might be just one of many aliases this man uses, with a questionable history involving wealthy and powerful women, all of whom later faced inexplicable tragedies. When Brick and Anna share their findings with Jason, the 3 face a tough decision, whether to reveal this information to Carly, who is clearly smitten with this new relationship, or continue investigating to gather more concrete evidence before approaching her. Jason, well aware of how Carly would react to unsubstantiated accusations, proposed a third plan. He would confront Brennan directly, challenge him, and observe his reaction, while Brick and Anna continue to dig deeper into his past. Carly, on the other hand, is truly thriving in this new relationship. After years of heartache and loss, she finally feels alive with Brennan. He treats her with a respect and admiration she rarely receives, is well-versed in her business world, and always seems to know the right thing to say at the right moment. Carly, who typically has a strong instinct for danger, is completely blind to the signs that Jason, Brick, and Anna have noticed. Instead, she grows more and more immersed in this relationship, sharing more about her personal life, business, and even family secrets with Brennan. This emotional explosion of Carly not only makes her vulnerable but also places her in a dangerous position as she starts to oppose anyone who questions Brennan. When Jason gently tries to bring up some of the suspicious points in Brennan's story, Carly reacts defensively, accusing Jason of being jealous or too protective. This reaction only heightens Jason's concern, as he knows that a Carly in love is a Carly who is most vulnerable. As the final pieces of the puzzle about Brennan begin to emerge, Jason, Brick, and Anna are preparing for an inevitable confrontation, a confrontation they know could deeply hurt Carly in the short term but hope will protect her from far greater harm in the future. But the big question remains, will they be able to convince Carly of the truth before it's too late, or will Brennan carry out any dangerous plans he's been making? In a recent tense development, Jason quietly followed Brennan to a secret meeting with a man he recognized as a high-ranking member of Sonny's rival organization. The conversation Jason overheard confirmed his worst suspicions. Brennan is not only using Carly but is also part of a much bigger plan to infiltrate Sonny's territory and potentially harm the entire Corinthos family. With this information in hand, Jason knows that time is running out, and he must act quickly to protect Carly, even if it means facing her fury when shattering the illusion of her perfect relationship. Emma is preparing for a new assault on her life in Port Charles, after a long time away and carrying secrets from college. The young girl, daughter of Robin and Patrick, has returned with a more mature appearance but also carries a darkness that few recognize. Her once bright-eyed youthful innocence now contains a caution and wariness of someone who has endured unspoken trauma. Emma's new assault is not a physical one but a psychological strategy. She is preparing to confront those who forced her to sign an NDA and remain silent about what happened at college. The story of the troubles Emma is facing grows more complicated as she tries to ensure the truth is revealed in a controlled manner. Every move Emma makes is carefully calculated, from what information she chooses to share with Anna, to approaching potential allies, to carefully avoiding places and situations that might put her in danger. Emma knows that the NDA she signed is not just a legal document but a tool designed to silence her, to protect those in power and influence. New stories are emerging from Anna's investigation into Emma's past as she uncovers the dark truth behind the perfect facade of the prestigious college. With every piece revealed, Anna increasingly realizes that her daughter is not a lone victim but part of a much larger pattern, one of abuse of power, cover-up, and forced silence. What concerns Anna most is the sign that those involved in the college incident might be connected to Port Charles, and could even be monitoring Emma, even after she's returned home. One of the biggest shocks Anna and Jason are facing is the discovery of a potential link between those behind Emma's college incident and Jack Brennan. In investigating Brennan to protect Carly, Jason inadvertently discovered an old photo showing Brennan having a casual conversation with a senior professor at Emma's college, someone who, according to sources Anna gathered, was directly involved in the incident that led Emma to sign the NDA. This discovery not only raises Jason's suspicions about Brennan but also presents a troubling question. Is Brennan's appearance in Port Charles coincidental, or did he come here with a specific purpose connected to Emma? As Anna and Jason compare the information they have gathered, a troubling picture is slowly coming into focus. It seems that Brennan is not only a threat to Carly but may also be part of a larger network trying to keep Emma's story buried. This places Emma in a very dangerous position. Not only is she violating the NDA with what she has shared with Anna, but she may also be under surveillance by people willing to do anything to keep their secrets hidden. The danger is truly escalating as Emma starts receiving subtle warning signs, from untraceable late-night phone calls, threatening emails from anonymous addresses, to the constant feeling of being watched as she moves around the city. Anna, with her strong protective instincts as a mother, has begun increasing security around Emma, even requesting support from the WSB to protect her daughter. Jason, though primarily focused on protecting Carly, has also started expanding his surveillance network to include Emma, aware that these two threats may be closely related. In a significant development, Emma has begun to display courage beyond her years. Rather than shrinking before the increasing threats, she has decided she will no longer be a silent victim. In a private conversation with Anna, Emma revealed that she has secretly been gathering evidence of what happened at college, recordings, messages, and even videos she has carefully stored as insurance. This evidence could not only break the NDA but could also lead to serious criminal charges against those involved. As Anna, Jason, and Emma begin to connect the dots and build a course of action, they also face a major challenge: how to protect Emma and reveal the truth without putting Carly in even greater danger from Brennan. Time is running out, and the threat is growing closer with each passing day. Emma, though fearful, is determined to stand up and face her past. Not only to seek justice for herself but also to protect other potential victims. As Port Charles prepares for what could be one of its most dramatic confrontations in history, one thing is certain. Emma is no longer the naive girl everyone once knew. She has grown into a brave, determined young woman, ready to fight for the truth, even if it means facing the most formidable enemies. And with Anna and Jason by her side, Emma may have the best chance not only to survive but to win in the upcoming battle. Christina is facing an unprecedented new pressure as she contends with Ava's sophisticated and dangerous manipulations. The young woman from the Corinthos Davis family, accustomed to being protected by the power of her family name, now finds that very name putting her at a disadvantage against Ava Jerome. Every gesture, every word from Ava is calculated to maximize Christina's insecurity and anxiety, reminding her that the secret of her sabotaging Rick's car could be exposed at any moment, destroying not only her freedom but also her precious relationship with Molly. One of the new pressures rising is how Ava is gradually expanding her blackmail scheme. Initially, Ava's demands were simple: $2 million from Sunny in exchange for her silence about Christina's crime. But with each passing day, as Christina and Sunny try to find a way to cope, Ava raises the stakes. Now, she not only wants money but also demands concessions regarding Avery's custody, inside information about Sunny's business operations, and even that Christina publicly apologize and demean herself in front of Ava at upcoming social events. Ava is readying a fresh attack aimed directly at the heart of the Corinthos empire, Sunny himself. She has begun gathering information not only about Christina's sabotage of Rick's car but also on many other aspects of Sunny's life. Through a network of connections and sources, Ava has gradually built a detailed profile of Sunny's weaknesses and secrets, from shady business dealings to complicated personal relationships, and most notably, actions that could harm his public image if exposed. The new blackmail story is confirmed as Ava begins making increasingly bold demands. In a private meeting with Sunny, she directly mentions several little secrets she knows, not only about Christina but about other members of his family. Ava has proven that she holds not only the secret of the car sabotage but many other pieces of information Sunny doesn't want revealed. Each piece of information she discloses is like a small blade, cutting deeply into Sunny's usual calm, forcing him to realize that Ava is far more dangerous than he imagined. This is quickly solidifying Ava's explosive new presence in the underworld of Port Charles. Those who once dismissed her as a petty opportunist are now forced to reconsider. Ava Jerome is not only a formidable enemy but also a shrewd, ruthless strategist capable of shifting the balance of power in the city. Sunny's business partners have begun to notice Ava's growing influence, and some have even started to reassess their alliances. Christina, sensing the increasing threat, makes a bold decision. She chooses to confront Ava directly rather than continue running. In a risky attempt to regain control, Christina secretly meets Ava at an art gallery, where she tries to convince her that continuing to blackmail Sunny will only lead to a bad outcome for everyone. Christina proposes a new deal. She will publicly confess to her actions, face the legal consequences, but in return, Ava must end her schemes against the Corinthos family. Ava's reaction to this proposal is a cold laugh and a reminder that the game has gone far beyond the car incident. "This isn't just about you anymore, Christina," Ava says, her voice sweet but threatening. "This is about a new power balance in Port Charles, and your father is going to have to accept that his time is over." As Christina leaves the meeting with Ava, she realizes that the situation has spiraled far beyond her control. She is no longer only facing the consequences of her own impulsive actions but is being drawn into a much larger power struggle between Ava and her father. With her mind filled with confusion and fear, Christina turns to the one person she trusts most right now, her mother, Alexis. Upon hearing her daughter's account of the situation, Alexis immediately recognizes the gravity of the issue. As an experienced lawyer with deep knowledge of Sunny's world, Alexis understands that Ava is no ordinary adversary. The threat from Ava is not only legal but also a psychological and strategic battle that both Christina and Sunny may not be fully prepared to fight. As news of the confrontation between Ava and the Corinthos family begins to spread through Port Charles, many are holding their breath to see what happens next. Will Sunny yield to Ava's demands? Or will he find a way to strike back? Will Christina continue to bear the pressure of guilt and fear, or will she find the strength to face the consequences of her actions? And will Ava, with all her schemes and strategies, ultimately achieve her goal, or will she go too far and face the consequences herself? Meanwhile, Nina is making a final plea to Willow. A desperate effort by a grandmother to repair her relationship with her daughter-in-law before things spiral completely out of control. Standing before Willow in the Corinthos living room, Nina no longer holds the strong and confident demeanor she is known for. Instead, she appears as a woman willing to lower all barriers to salvage the last relationship she's fought so hard for over the years. Nina's voice trembles as she tells Willow of her suspicions about Drew. What she's uncovered, and most importantly, her fear that Willow and her children could be in danger if they continue to stay close to him. One of the latest explosive events in Port Charles is revealed as Nina's secret investigation into Drew begins to yield results. With the help of her extensive network and resources from Crimson magazine, Nina has gradually uncovered a web of lies and manipulation that Drew has carefully woven. From suspicious business dealings at Aurora Media to secret ties with notorious organizations, Nina has built a detailed profile of a Drew Kane far different from the kind upstanding man everyone believes him to be. Nina's final attack on Drew is confirmed as she prepares to publish an in-depth investigative article in Crimson, exposing all of his wrongdoings. This isn't just a regular article but a comprehensive file with irrefutable evidence, photographs, recordings, bank statements, and testimonies from those who have worked with Drew. Nina knows that once this article is published, it will not only destroy Drew's career and reputation but could lead to serious criminal charges. However, she also understands that this action will create a shockwave that will affect many innocent people, including Willow and her children. For this reason, before taking the final step, Nina decides to approach Willow, not to threaten or coerce, but to plead with her to listen, to give her the opportunity to protect herself and her family before the storm hits. "I'm not doing this to seek revenge or hurt anyone," Nina says, her gaze more sincere than ever. "I'm doing this because I can't stand to see you and the kids hurt by what Drew is doing." Drew's reign is slowly coming to an end as not only Nina but many others begin to see cracks in his perfect facade. Jason, who has long suspected his twin brother, has started his own investigation and discovered troubling connections between Drew and old enemies of the Morgan Quartermain family. Spinelli, with his technological skills, has uncovered signs that Drew may have been influenced by some outside force, possibly through the chip implanted in his brain. One of the emerging issues is how Drew's downfall will affect the entire power structure in Port Charles. Aurora Media, under Drew's leadership, has become one of the most influential media companies in the area, and its collapse will create a power vacuum that many are eager to fill. Nina, with Crimson, could enhance her influence. Valentine, always looking for opportunities to expand the Cassadine empire, has also begun lobbying to acquire some of Aurora's assets. And Ava, who knows how to capitalize on chaos, is quietly planning her next moves. The new pressure is mounting on Willow as she faces the hardest decision of her life. On one hand, she has built a life and career tied to Drew and Aurora Media. On the other, if Nina's accusations are true, she cannot put herself and her children in danger. This pressure is further heightened as Michael, her ex-husband, has begun expressing concerns about Drew, not out of jealousy, but because he genuinely worries for Willow and their children's safety. This is proving to be a new complication forming in Willow's mind, doubt. She begins to look back at all her interactions with Drew, wondering if there were signs she missed. Sudden business trips, secret phone calls late at night, the times Drew acted strangely after returning from business meetings, all of these things begin to take on a new, worrying significance in Willow's mind. As the conversation between Nina and Willow comes to an end, both realize that they are standing on the edge of a major change, not just for themselves but for all of Port Charles. Nina, with all the evidence in hand, knows she has the power to trigger Drew's collapse. But she also understands that doing so will have unforeseen consequences. And one of the people most hurt will be Willow, the woman she still considers family, despite their past differences. Willow, standing at the crossroads, must face the truth that the perfect life she thought she built may be nothing but an illusion. She must decide whether to continue trusting the man she chose to share her life with or listen to the warnings from the woman she's long distrusted but is now presenting undeniable evidence. As both Nina and Willow leave this emotional meeting, they both know that the decisions they make next will reshape not only their lives but also the future of Port Charles. Meanwhile, Drew, unaware of this encounter, continues to pursue his plan, a plan that, if successful, could permanently alter the power dynamics in Port Charles.